Welcome to the CrossFit Alioth Unleashed podcast, where we discuss health and fitness, mindset and business with your host, Coach Lloyd. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Alioth Unleashed, where we post updates and teasers on our upcoming guests and podcasts. All right, here we go. Episode 14 of the CrossFit Alioth Unleashed podcast, and today I have with me Loredana. If I'm pronouncing her name right. She always has to go at me because I can't pronounce her name correctly. But here she is. I've finally got her on my podcast, and she's literally been a gymnast since birth. Literally. She's been doing gymnastics for a very long time, and we're basically just going to talk about what I found interesting was your crazy sort of upbringing through your gymnastic sort of school, if you will. So let's start off with just giving people a little background to who you are, what you do, where you come from, and all that stuff, and then we can carry on with all the crazy fun stuff after that.
My name is Loredana. This is how you pronounce it, or short version, Lori or Lore. Born and raised in Romania, and I live in Dubai for 7 years now, and I'm coaching at Fly High as a CrossFit coach.
So, you started gymnastics at the age of 3.
Yes.
And how old are you now?
21. No, 31.
31. I mean, you could get away with looking and people believing that you are 21 because just stand up for us. You're pretty short, right? So, she's 31, not 21. But from the age of 3, still doing it now, literally all you've been doing is gymnastics, and that's literally all you know.
Yes.
I mean, you don't just know gymnastics, but that's your sort of
That's
expertise. That's your thing. So you started gymnastics at the age of 3. How did that come about? What sort of happened at 3? Who got you into gymnastics?
Yeah, so my mom's friend, she became a coach, so she knew that my mom has me, and she asked my mom to bring me to the gym. So when I got there, I still remember like perfectly. The girls were like on the floor warming up, and I've joined them. I was the youngest one over there, and then I really liked it, and I enjoyed it obviously because it was super fun, like climbing, rolling, and all those stuff. And then the next day I went again to the training, and again and again and again, till now.
So now, yeah, it's good. I sort of do like gymnastics because no matter how young you start, you can make it fun. Like, it's good for kids to get involved with gymnastics, and then obviously the older you get, the more serious it becomes, which is what we'll learn very soon on how it become for you. But I do believe that gymnastics at such a young age it's open to everyone because, you can start off by doing the simple stuff, the fun stuff like the rolls and whatever else you might do, the balance sort of stuff. And there's just so much to do. And I think there's a lot of gymnastic schools around Dubai which, a lot of people can get involved with. So literally, you told me you have 82 medals in gymnastics. That's crazy.
Yes, I have 82, but like in gymnastics, it's pretty, I wouldn't say like simple, but you can get like 6 medals going to one competition only. So it's not like I've done 82 competition in my entire career. It's just like you can get 5, 6 doing only one competition, as I said before.
I see. And it's artistic gymnastics that you sort of
yes.
do. What's the other gymnastics that?
So it's rhythmic. And it's the one that using, the like hula hoops and ribbon, and it's pretty different.
Yeah, I've seen this on TV before, I think. They got like a big floor and they do like a lot of flips, and then they have the ribbon out, they throw it up and catch it.
Yeah, exactly, it's that one.
Is that still going?
Yes,
I've not seen much of that.
Yeah, it's pretty popular.
Well, not as popular as it used to be. So from the age of 3, going to whatever school it might be, doing your gymnastics, up until the age of 6. What happened for you then at the age of 6?
So at the age of 6, I was selected to be part of an Olympic center. I've done some tests. I went there with my parents. It was like 600 kilometers away from my hometown.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty far.
Did you have to drive all that way?
Yes, and especially at that time in Romania, the roads weren't like, we don't have highways, and it was pretty hard. Like it's 9 hours driving, and with the train it's like 12 hours, so it was like pretty long. And yeah, they've selected me and they want me to go. I also like got selected to be part of like a bigger, no, age-wise group, because I could do the skills. That was because when I was training in my hometown, being the youngest one, I was learning the skills that the bigger girls were learning. So I was kind of, lucky, and I had like an advantage. Yeah, so when I was there, they selected me, and it was a pretty tough decision for my parents, especially because I have to move away alone without them. My mom didn't want me to go. Yeah, I'm also the only child, so it was pretty tough. But my father was like, just let her try.
Send her away.
Yeah.
Get her away from me.
Let her to go, and if she doesn't like it, she will be back. You know,
so just explain to people what this sort of Olympic Centre is. What is it?
So the best gymnasts are selected to be part of it. It's like a training camp, I would say. So it's a campus where you do school, lot of training, and the place where you eat and like where you sleep.
Okay. So you was there for how long overall in total?
So, I was there for 7 years. And yeah, pretty much that's it. I was just like training and training.
We're going to obviously delve deeper into your 7 years at this Romanian Olympic Centre. I mean, do you remember much of having to leave home at the age of 6? Do you remember how you felt? Do you remember leaving your parents? Do you remember this? Because it was pretty, I know you was pretty young, like 6 years old. Yes. I don't think I can remember much at 6, you know?
Yeah, I remember everything perfectly because when we went 6 girls. So
from your hometown?
Yes, from my hometown. Okay. I wasn't alone. So we were like surrounded by parents, and it was like, exciting. And we were like traveling during the night, and I still remember when we got to that town called Onești, if some Romanians are watching this. The girls were coming for the training, and I could see them like really tired. They were looking so tired, and I was like, okay, like it didn't scare me, And then I've been there for 3 months, and then they got us to like vacation for 3 days, and we went back to the hometown. And when we had to come back to this Olympic Center, nobody else wanted to go. I was the only one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So was you the only person to go back after the trip? Wow.
Yeah, nobody else wanted to go because, it was like a really big change. We were doing school only for 2 hours and 7 to 8 hours like training. It wasn't easy for a 6-7 years old girl.
So, I mean, you just mentioned then, like, you must have been studying for only 2 hours a day, and then the rest of the hours in the day you was literally training gymnastics.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think that, because, like, now if you was to get, like, scholarships or something like this, like, you'd obviously have to study hard, and if your studies wasn't, as they should be, and you wasn't hitting the grades, then you wouldn't be able to be part of a team, or you wouldn't be able to, trial out for a certain team. So it's sort of swap that around in Romania. It's kind of like, okay, now training is the most important and studies sort of come second.
Yeah, it wasn't the case in Romania about like school. It was just about training and getting the like good results, because it was like at that time Romanian gymnastic was like very, very famous, and wherever they were competing they were getting gold. So it was that was for them, like just training and trying to get those results and keep them actually.
Yeah. So was there much pressure on you then, being at this sort of Olympic school, knowing that, Romania is probably the best place to be for the best gymnasts? Was there some sort of pressure on you at such a young age to perform?
Not really.
No?
Because I was too young to realize what exactly is going on. I just loved it, and I just wanted to be better. That was everything that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand very well what Olympics means, what words means, and what you have to actually do to get over there.
I'm guessing your coaches knew, but they wouldn't obviously tell you at such a young age.
For sure.
Maybe looking back now, you obviously understand a little bit. Do you remember the first time you had your first competition, like first important sort of?
Yes. So I was 7 years old, I went to the nationals. Over there, I've got like 4 medals. I became a national champion. We used to call like little gymnast. This is how we used to call the competition because, we were like most of us at that age. And I remember like being very nervous, especially on the beam, which is the most, not how I should to say, like you really have to know how to control your nerves because, you are doing stuff on a 10 centimeters thing. That's all that I remember.
But you come away with 4 gold medals at the age of 7.
Yeah.
And you was national champion at the age of 7.
Yes.
That's crazy. It's mad. I don't think I've got many medals to show for my any sort of sport growing up. I think I've lost them. Do you still have all your medals, all these medals that you have? Do you have them?
I have them at home, yeah.
Yeah?
But I keep them in a box.
Okay, so all your 82 medals in a box at home under your bed.
Kind of,
Typical. Yeah, I think most people are the same who have some sort of medals. Just keep them stashed under the bed. I mean, you're not going to hang all 82 medals up, are you?
I used to do that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like with my first medals, but after that it was like not interested anymore.
What do you remember most from this like experience being at such a young age? Like what sticks out for you looking back now? Like what was your most memorable experience in them years at this Olympic school?
What I remember, it was just the tough training that we were doing, and the hours that we used to spend in the gym. Everything was super strict. Like we couldn't eat what we wanted. We couldn't watch cartoons. We couldn't play outside. So looking back to that, I obviously do not regret anything, but I've kind of missed it, and I cannot go back and try to do those stuff. Yeah,
I think you're kind of stripping children from the childhood, right? Like children, I mean, to a certain point, should be watching TV. They should be eating what they want because this is an age that we can get away with it. Like now we're a bit older. Yeah, we have to watch what we eat. We don't want to watch too much TV. We could be more productive. But at an age where from 6 onwards, for them to strip that of you, that's pretty crazy. I don't think most people have that stripped at that age.
Yeah, they've thought that that's a way to keep us like disciplined, but in my opinion, it was way too much.
Yeah. I guess some people sort of rebel, like when people give you so many rules, like you sort of, okay, well, I can't do this, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah, especially with the kids, when you tell them that
not
don't do it, then when they want to do it. We used to, climb the windows and run outside to go to the shop and buy something like, sweet. But it wasn't because we wanted to eat something sweet. It was just because we knew that we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Are you still like a little kid at heart at the minute? So if I told you now not to do something, would you go and do it?
Not really.
Okay. So don't do a flip for my people that are watching on the YouTube video.
Yes, don't do it at home.
We'll get you doing a flip in a minute for those that are watching. If you're not watching, flip over to YouTube and you can see Laurie do some flips in a minute. So from 6 onwards, you was here at this Olympic school, and then let's go on to what happened next with regards to you being 11 years old and what happened then for you at 11 as a gymnast.
Yeah, so again, based on the results that I've had, they selected me to be part of the junior Olympic team. 18 girls, the best 18 girls in Romania were selected to be part of it.
Was you number 18?
And no, it's 17, my lucky. And that was the toughest period of my entire journey, because I couldn't have my coaches with me. So same as the gymnasts were selected to be part of this team, the coaches were selected as well. So the best results the coach would have with a gymnast, based on that they were selected, to come and to be part of it. So obviously each coach was looking after their own gymnasts. So me being alone over there, it wasn't it wasn't very good for myself.
So your coach didn't get selected to
Yes.
basically be part of this team, but
Yeah, because
other people's coaches were on that team.
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
because I was the only gymnast from that club selected. So I couldn't have my own coach. Like other clubs had like 4 or 5 gymnasts selected. So then obviously they could go with their own coach.
Yeah. So how was it then transitioning from going from your coach to working with different people that you've not worked with? How was that for you?
You know, because we were taught to be tough and we were so disciplined, I knew that I have to follow what the coaches, were saying. But when I was at the club, I knew that, they kind of have my back, and I knew that whatever I need, or if I don't feel comfortable with a few stuff, they would be there for me. But when I got selected to this like junior Olympic team, I had nobody. So nobody kind of like cared about me. And I felt like, left alone over there. And yeah, because he was so tough, sometimes I really like needed, just to talk with someone or to be honest about the way I was feeling.
Did you eventually find that low in one of the coaches, or was it like that from 11 to whenever you left?
No, I didn't.
No?
No, I had to to take care of myself alone, yeah.
I guess, obviously at the time it's pretty hard for you to sort of process that, but looking back, it's probably made you into the sort of person that you're in now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It made me realize since then that, okay, you have to deal with your own and to find a way to do it well.
Yeah, good. So you've moved over to this, this junior Olympic team, if you will. You've gone to different coaches. How was it training with these guys? Was it totally different? What was different compared to your last coaches to now? Was there more expected of you? Was things done differently around the camp? Like, what was different about it?
It was different in many ways. First of all, we were training differently. Each coach has, their like own approach of coaching, and they were expecting us to know that without them telling us. Another thing that was pretty difficult, it was the way that they were talking, the way that they were behaving with us.
So the coaching style had changed then?
Yes, pretty much.
For the better or for the worse?
For the worse.
Yeah.
For me, in my case, was worse.
Yeah. So it sort of got more strict, and there was more pressure.
Yeah, obviously once you get in that like junior Olympic team, like European Championship are coming. That's the time when you can kind of race, like show what you are good at. And pressure was on us, but as well on the coaches, because, everyone was expecting results, especially because, we're Romanian, so wherever we go, we have to get gold. We were training much more than what I used to train when I was like younger, but I think that's pretty normal. It was just the way that they were approaching the kids. That was the thing that, in my case, like, it break me down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just explain on that, like, how was it, like, how was their approach to coaching such young kids?
So if you were doing a mistake, instead of just telling you, okay, you have done wrong, next time try to do this and this and stuff like that, they were beating us and like talking like in a way that wasn't okay with the kid. Like kind of, I would say, like bullying.
Yeah.
I was hearing like kind of every day that, you stupid, you ugly, you cannot do anything, stuff like that. And I was like already 11 years old. I could like understand already my feelings. Like when I was 6, what that means, you know. It wasn't like touching me, but when I was growing, it was different. So I could understand exactly what they are meaning, and the way that they were saying. Yeah. I could understand very well.
Do you think that was just the old school way of coaches? Like, do you think now it's the same or it's changed?
No, it's not the same. It changed, but I heard stories that somehow they still kind of have that approach. They are trying obviously to not, because like nowadays you cannot do that anymore. Like it was like 15 years ago, and everyone was accepting kind of that.
Yeah, you could get away with stuff, right?
Yeah, it was like, it's normal, it's gymnastic. That's how it has to be done, But and it was like different, because some of the girls, like, they were accepting that, but I couldn't, because my personality and my character wasn't, with like accepting all those stuff. Like, if you are telling me, okay, you have to do this and this, I will try to do that. But if you are just jumping on me and like trying to beat me and stuff like that, it doesn't work. Like, you cannot make me do things like this.
So when stuff like this happened, did you speak to someone, or did you confide in a coach or your parents, or did you just kind of like deal with it and just find your own way like you did previously?
I couldn't talk with anyone, because it was like that was the normal at that moment, And I've never tried. I mean, like, I spoke with my parents a few times, but they were like 600 kilometers away, and I knew that if I'm telling them, they're not gonna feel well, obviously, like knowing that your kid is like, in that situation, you cannot do anything about it. So I was just like, dealing with my own feelings.
At such a young age. Mad. Obviously, you just said like earlier that it was a lot more strict. The coaches were strict. The campus was strict. Like, what rules did they have in place for you girls or guys at this campus, like, that you thought, or that you think now is just wow, like, as if this happened?
So first of all, we couldn't see our parents only the last weekend of each month.
Okay.
We could speak only once in 2 days with them over the phone, but sometimes they were like confiscating our phones because they didn't want us to speak with the parents and tell them, what's going on over there.
Okay. So when you was allowed to see your parents, was your parents traveling 600k to come and see you, or?
So yeah, they were coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes my grandma was coming, but it was like pretty difficult, as I said, because it was like, like 9 hours driving, and then it was like, you could stay with your own kid like for 6-7 hours, not more than that. So then they had like, to go back. They were trying to come, at least like one of them, to come and see me. And sometimes they couldn't. And it was like some years where I've seen them like maybe 3 times a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if they did come and see you on this, last Sunday of the month, was you allowed to just leave campus and do what you like? Was that the case?
Yes, we could do whatever we wanted, but yeah, it was a thing behind of it, because after we were coming, they were putting us on the scale, like weight in. So you had to be careful what are you doing, because if you'd have like, I don't know, some like, let's say, half kilogram plus, then we were going and run on the track.
Okay, so let's just rewind a little bit. So what you're saying is, they would basically get you on the weighing scales. How often would they get you on the weighing scales?
Every day.
So they get you on the weighing scales every day, once, twice, so that?
Sometimes twice a day in the morning, and then evening one. The evening one was the most stressful one, because if you were having like, I don't know, 100 grams plus, you couldn't get dinner.
Yeah, if you'd gained 100 grams, yeah.
So
there's some more obviously strict rules that we need to cover on this conversation. So obviously they must have been super strict with what you was eating. They had to look at your diet. How was this for you? Tell us more about, not being able to eat what you want, or them being so strict on a diet for you.
Like I said before, for me it was like so wrong, because my way of being was like, okay, I cannot eat, now I want to eat, because they told me that I cannot. I really wanted to eat. But when I was having like everything in front of me, I didn't care about anything. I've never liked chocolate, so it wasn't a problem for me. I really wanted, because they didn't allow me. I think it was really wrong because the volume of training was like crazy, and not eating was really bad for us because we were getting injured. We couldn't do very well at training. Like you have no fuel. How can you train properly, and how can you like improve what are you doing in the gym?
I'm guessing it was all about appearance for you guys. You know, being a gymnast, you have to look a certain way, I guess, and you have to obviously perform well, but also look good at the same time. So I guess old school sort of way of thinking would be to try and limit what you eat, still train as hard, or if not harder.
Yeah, like Romanians were like very well known of being like small and skinny and still performing well. But nowadays it's not like that. Like if you are watching some like world championships or Olympics, you could see the girls like they are like muscular and they look like like a healthy person. And in order to do all those crazy skills, you need to have muscles because otherwise you're just gonna break. You cannot sustain that.
Yeah, I think ways are changing now. I think within more sports, people now do understand nutrition more, and you have to eat to perform.
Yes.
So I think if we was to go at some point to Romania and check out these Olympic skills, I'm thinking, I'm hoping that there should be some sort of nutritionist in there and telling people what to eat, when to eat, and eat the right things, and to get them perform well. So was there anything that you did to try and like get around or finding a loophole when you did want to eat something and you might have gone out, done something that you're not supposed to, but then you've got to stand on the scales when you come back in? Like, what would you do?
So what we were doing was like spitting in a can, and like putting lots of like trousers and jackets on us, and then hiding ourselves like under the blanket just to sweat.
So like an old school sauna.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have learned from the older ones, so we were trying to do the same.
Yeah. I'm guessing you wouldn't have a sauna back in the Olympic Center.
No.
So you literally put on a lot of clothes, get under the blanket, put the heating on.
Yeah,
and
like
sweat.
we had a sauna, but in the gym, not the place where we were sleeping.
Yeah. Mad. Another rule as well. 20 minutes of TV a day, I think you told me.
Yes. And it was crazy because we were like 50 girls, and everyone wanted to watch different stuff. And then we were just there chatting and spending a bit of time together and doing different stuff that we were doing all day long.
Yeah.
But 20 minutes was...
So you had one TV for the whole 50 of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a movie. It's like kind of like what you see in the old school movies. It's like a prison, right? Old prisons, like what you see on TV. It's kind of like, here's one TV, and then they fight over the TV. The top dog wants to watch what he wants, and
yeah, you can call it like a small prison.
So I guess you sort of just got there, didn't really watch TV, but talked about things, with other girls for 20 minutes, and it was kind of like a downtime away from all the crazy stuff going on.
We did not know much what's going on outside of that world. We were like living in a bubble because we weren't allowed to go anywhere. So even in the school, we weren't allowed to go and study in the school. The teachers were coming to the dormitory and, do school with us because in the school you could find a shop. So that was a problem. They didn't want us to have access to that.
Yeah, so you basically was in like a little prison, wasn't you? You literally couldn't leave. You got your phones confiscated. You had a certain amount of calls. Only 20 minutes of TV.
Yeah, this is what...
limited food.
My father was saying, was that a prison?
Yeah,
you guys are crazy.
I think now I'm hoping things have changed. Mention the holidays that you could have. Like, tell us how many holidays you could have a year.
Yeah, we had like 3 days a year holiday.
3 days a year. Okay, and when were these days? Was it specific days that you could have off, or?
Not necessarily. It was like depending on competition schedule. So if we were having a competition, or more competition during the summer, then most probably we would go home like winter time. It wasn't all the time the same.
And what about these like normal holidays that people have off, like Christmas, Easter, summer?
No, we were just spending all those holidays like together over there. We obviously have like traditional food, which they were giving us, but everything was like, you were eating and then the coaches were around you. Guys, be careful about that. How much are you eating? It's like always like someone behind you trying to stop eating you.
So when Christmas come around and you're in this prison, let's say, was there much of a Christmas vibe going on? Like, did the campus do much to make you feel like, it's Christmas, we should be having fun? Was training like, less intense around that time, or was it just like things going on as normal?
It was like easier.
Yeah.
They would let us like, to play more and like be more free.
Mm-hmm.
And those trainings were really good because, you could feel like, okay, now I can do everything and I can try everything without getting in trouble, let's say like this.
Okay.
So then they realized that if they gonna give us like more free time, we can get actually better.
Mm-hmm.
But still, because all the pressure that we had, they were choosing like to be like just super strict.
Yeah, for sure. Strict prison.
You don't have to call it like
Did
that.
you get presents at Christmas Day? Did you get any gifts?
My parents were sending me,
Okay, good.
mostly they were sending me money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Money to use at the canteen,
Yeah.
like you do in prison. So you also mentioned to me that the training obviously stepped up at this sort of time for you. You was training like 3 times a day in the off season. Just explain to everyone like how at such a young age was you training 3 times a day? What would you train in these 3 times?
Yeah, so mostly in the morning we were like going on the track and run, or nearby the place we were training, it was like kind of like a small mountain, I would say. So we were doing a lot of uphill, work, like sprints and stuff like that. And then second training was just about like skills, learning new stuff, making like, yourself comfortable with everything that you were learning and practicing and stuff. And then the third training was like just about like gymnastic conditioning, like 2 hours, and then lots of stretching, like mobility and the crazy way of like, pushing us down and do all those splits.
Crazy stretching.
Yeah.
How important is stretching in gymnastics then? Tell us. Do you still stretch?
Yeah, I do stretch like maybe.
I'm surprised you've not pulled out a stretch while you've been sat down there.
No, I tried before we started and you were looking weird. It's very important because, it's in gymnastics, it's everything about perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pointed toes, knees straight, and beautiful arms, and you have to be elegant, but you also have to be strong. So they were trying to, put everything together.
Mm-hmm. Did you, at any point, touch any weights when you were training? Or was it just all body weight stuff for gymnasts?
Never.
Yeah, good. Well, I mean, at this such a young age, you don't obviously want to be touching weights too young. But
Yeah,
I'm guessing for gymnastics, up until a certain age, it's just all about getting in the right positions, being comfortable on the, with your balance, coordination and stuff like this. And it's all sort of a lot of body weight strength, which transfers over to any other sport that you'd go into anyway. So
That's true.
yeah.
But I've seen like nowadays like lots of like gymnasts like training weights, like weightlifting as well.
Yeah.
We had I think some months ago at Fly High some teams. We had a Netherlands team, and I've seen them training with the weights.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess like everything changes now because you just have to adapt.
Yeah.
Like gymnastics became so hard, so in order to be able to do all those crazy skills, you need some strength and power.
For sure.
So
I think it transfers over well.
Yeah.
Like obviously ring dips, for example, or any sort of dip's going to transfer well over to any sort of ring movement that you're doing. Whether it's the what's the cross? What's that
the
called?
cross. So
Is it just called the cross?
the cross. It calls the cross.
Oh,
So the girls are not doing rings.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like 4 apparatus, and the guys have 6. So it's pretty difficult. Pretty different. We don't touch the rings.
Yeah. So guys do all 6, girls do 4.
Yes.
Girls just stay away from the rings.
Yes.
Why do you think that is? Go on, say it. Because men.
No, I think because in the past they thought that girls cannot do what a man can do, which is wrong because
sure.
we can do rings.
Yeah, I've seen many girls do stuff on the rings, which is great. I think maybe in the future it should change, and all girls maybe do
Inshallah.
6 apparatus rather than 4. So obviously you was training so hard, like 3 times a day in the off season, doing the cardio, doing the stretching, doing the body weight strength, doing all the gymnastic stuff. There was a time where for you it sort of took its toll on your body, the intensity, and you ended up basically in hospital. Do you want to tell people more about that?
I guess I have no
Why is that
choice
funny?
now.
Why is that funny?
No, because now I find it fun. Like
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just looking back at it, and it is what it is, right? I cannot change anything about it. So all I remember is that I was on the beam, like training, and the next thing I was like in the hospital. And obviously we did not have like cameras in the gym. First of all, because
they don't want to know what's going on.
Exactly. And second of all, because it's Romania, and we couldn't see I couldn't see exactly what happened. They were just told me that I fainted on the beam. So they really had to run like a lot of tests for me because I hit a beam with my head and then like my spine. And
that explains the way you are. You hit your head when you was younger.
Thank you, Lloyd. Very nice of you. So I found myself in the hospital. I couldn't get in touch with my parents because I didn't.
They still confiscated your phone even though you was in
exactly.
hospital?
I did not have access to my phone. So my father, called the coach, the head of gymnastic at that time, and like he got, so angry. So like, what's this? Like, it's a prison. Like, come on, guys, you cannot do stuff like that. It's just like she's only 13, 14 years old. So obviously the coach did not like how my father spoke with her, but he was worried for me. And then the next day he just came there. He found me in the hospital, and then it was the time when I decided that no more. I really need a break.
Yeah.
Because I was so down mentally, not physically. Like, I've never been injured, which is pretty rare in gymnastics. I naturally I was like strong.
And you was young as well, right? Like, injuries don't really happen so much.
It happens in gymnastics. I've seen
broken bones maybe.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I was one of the luckiest one that I was like pretty much okay. I had like some like pain there and there, but nothing crazy. So like mentally I was like really down. I couldn't speak about it. I was like just crying nonstop. I didn't want to cry, but I was getting in the gym and like suddenly like, tears were on. So we had a big meeting with the Romanian Federation, and they tried to kind of to keep me there by telling me that if you are leaving now, you have to pay everything since beginning, because I've had a scholarship. I've never paid, or they were paying me. I had like kind of a small salary, I would say. And my father was like, it's okay, like we're gonna find a way. If she doesn't want to stay, then we have to accept that. And then I still remember the head of gymnastics. She told my father, if I would be in your shoes, I would beat her now and make her stay over here, And my father was like, me beating her? Like, she didn't cry when she was 6. So if she's crying now when she's 14, that's your problem, guys. It's not my problem. So,
So did you stay on, or did dad take you out?
No, it was the time I quit.
Yeah, and did he end up paying for?
No, nothing. No.
So it was just kind of like a little threat, like you had to pay, but you didn't pay.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I kind of knew that they cannot make me do that, because it was an exchange. They were giving stuff, but I had results for Romania.
Yeah.
So it was like, I could realize that.
So the whole point of this, you being in this Olympic campus, was to try and be part of an Olympic team.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But obviously that didn't happen because, do you blame it on your dad pulling you out, or do you just blame it on the campus, or do you just blame it for you not being good enough? Like, what was it?
I only blame myself. It's not blaming.
No.
I'm really grateful for all the experience I had to go through, because like you said before, I'm the person I am now just because of my past. And probably if I wouldn't have those experience. We weren't talking right now. The only thing that I would say to myself, just like try to hold on and just keep going. Like find a way to stay strong. That's the only thing I kind of blame myself. I don't blame anyone else, like not the trainings, not the coaches, not my parents. I mean, like I said, my father let me to choose when I was 6.
Yeah.
He would never ask me to do things that I don't want to do it, because he knows how I am.
Yeah. So how was your mum at the time? Like, did your mum think, oh, she's not made the Olympics, or was she just happy for you to get out of this prison and just live a normal life for a child?
My mom was the happiest one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think everybody wants to see their son or daughter happy, right? And if a certain place isn't making your son or daughter happy and it's making them cry or whatever, feel like the way you did, then obviously any parent's going to be sort of happy to get them away from that. So when you left, you was age, what, 14?
Yes, I was 14.
Yeah. What happened for you then, like after this, you know, kind of like a little dream of yours maybe of just sort of just now in the past, it's disappeared a little bit, you know, you maybe going to the Olympics, you've left this campus. What was next for you?
So next I've had to go to high school, but...
You had to go to high school.
It's like being a normal girl, which was super weird for me, obviously, because I was like, okay, coming from the jungle, you know, I didn't know anything. Like I said, I was living in a bubble.
Yeah, training 8 hours a day and not
then,
studying.
You know, reality, like, facing. Like I said, we haven't done much school, so in order to go to the high school, we had to pass an exam. So, us being part of the Olympic team, they were helping us to pass that test. So it was like 3 subjects that we had to pass. So when we had that meeting, they told me like, okay, you go away, but we're not gonna help you. I said, okay, no problem. They could tell me anything they wanted. I just didn't want myself over there.
Yeah.
So I went back home. I've studied those 3 subjects for 3 months. Then I went back. I've done the exam. I passed the exam, a really good grade. And then, I enjoyed the summer because it was summertime. And high school was just like, you know, normal life.
Normal life.
Yeah.
So you'd left this little bubble, obviously, that you obviously learnt a lot from, but in the grand scheme of things, wasn't a great experience, but you've obviously learnt a lot from it. And you've gone to high school and just normal life now as a child, like just like other people. Did you sort of take your gymnastics into high school, or did you start another sport at high school? What happened sport-wise? Did you just stop?
I've just stopped.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't want to do anything. Obviously, we were having this, PE classes. And
what classes?
Like the PE.
PE, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the teacher, like, he knew me because my hometown is a small hometown, and, like, kind of everyone knew, you know, I'm the gymnast, and he was, like, trying to make me do stuff, but I didn't want to even do, like, you know, the classes. Like, I didn't want to do anything. So it was, like, probably for a year, I haven't done a thing, like, nothing. I just didn't want to hear anything related to sports, like, 0. And then slowly I've started, like, you know, going to the gym and moving and just try to do stuff. Obviously, I was able to do all those stuff because, you know, the muscle memory. I had, like, an offer during the high school to go to France and compete for France, but I refused it. And, that was pretty much, high school was just, like, normal life.
Yeah.
Studying, and that's it.
So, do you just think that you didn't do any sort of gymnastics in high school because of your previous experience? Or was it just, right, I've had enough, I'm done? Was you thinking, I'm done for life? Was you thinking, that's it with gymnastics, I don't want anything else to do with it? Like, never again?
In my mind, at that time, it was like that, yes. I never want to hear about it.
Yeah. I think it's understandable after what you've just been through, right? So, after high school, you finished there, and then you went and studied at university, which is what most people would do. After high school, we go and study at university. Yeah. And you studied something totally different than gymnastics. There's obviously no gymnastics sort of degree, is there? But, you know, you could have easily gone into sport, because you was good at gymnastics, you know, that could have led over to you doing maybe a sports degree, but you choose something else.
Yeah, I've graduated at engineering university.
Mm-hmm. So you did engineering, so something totally different.
Yes, because I kind of liked math.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I tried. I went doing and tried to do something good with it.
Yeah. How was your university life then? Was it just normal, like studying, partying, like most English university lives?
I was partying time to time, but it wasn't my thing. You know, when like you had such a childhood, like so disciplined, I couldn't kind of, you know, just let myself be. When I was like at university, I found cheerleading.
Okay, so you got slowly back into some sort of sport when you was in uni.
Yes, that's how I started like kind of training again. In Timișoara, the city I've studied, it was like basketball was a big thing over there. So I went with some of my friends to watch a game, and then I've seen those cheerleaders, and I said, that sounds that looks nice. I might be able to do that. So then I got in touch with someone, and yeah, I got part of the team like really quick, because I was the only one like being able, you know, to flip and do all those crazy jumps. And this is how I start again kind of training for not gymnastic, but you know.
I mean, it's some sort of gymnastic skill, right?
Yes, there
is it what you see on TV where like the guys flip you up and you do flips in the air, then they catch you again? Was that the sort of stuff you were doing?
No, it wasn't that level.
Oh, okay.
It was a lower level than that. We were just like, you know, dancing. It was like just girls. We didn't have any guy in the team, and we're just like dancing, flipping,
doing the splits, flipping.
Exactly.
Do you remember any stuff that you did cheerleading?
Yes, of course, I remember everything. I don't forget.
Do you want to show us some moves while? Come on, don't be shy.
Not dancing.
Just show us a flip. Come on. I'm gonna give our viewers something.
Okay, a flip I can.
You can
do
take your headphones off and show us a flip.
Okay.
Then you can have a practical snack for doing a flip.
All right.
No pressure. Flip over to YouTube now. Oh, she's doing a quick stretch for those that are listening.
Okay, what I should do so I might hit. I need more space.
Gotta do a flip.
Yeah, but okay, let me see what I can.
Oh, there we are. Such a gymnast. Oh, I had a little heart attack then because there was a lot of wires around.
Were you scared?
A little bit, yeah. I was thinking maybe you'd break an ankle on my podcast.
No, I cannot.
I don't think we're insured on this podcast. We're just sponsored, not insured. So you've still got it, clearly, which is great.
Yes. And I don't need warm up for
So that was your uni life, literally just normal uni life, a little bit of partying, but studying engineering and finding your way back into some sort of sport, which was cheerleading. Beautiful. After uni, you spent a couple of years literally using that degree of engineering.
Yeah, I worked for a year and a half, and I was also like, I've started a master degree, but things happened and I did not finish it. Yeah, exactly.
We've all been there. I think I did the same. And then at what age, 25?
Yes, 24,
So
25.
Not long ago then. You literally moved to Dubai. Why for you did you move to Dubai? Like, how did that come about?
So some of my teammates, they were already like coaching over here, and they've told me that someone needs another gymnastic coach, and if I'm interested to do that. I've never thought that I'm going to coach, because in my head coaching was like, you know, that crazy way, and I said, no, that's not for me. I would never do that to anyone. I've decided to send my CV. Then I had an online interview. I came here. I've been in Abu Dhabi for a year.
What was you doing in Abu Dhabi then? When you first got here, what was you doing? Just coaching? Who was you coaching?
Kids. Mostly kids. The name of the club was like Sports for Life. We were doing like extra school activities.
Okay.
We were moving from school to school. We had, you know, our own equipment, and it was that was a bit difficult because you always had to move and you know like bars and beam, and it's not a easy thing to be moved. So when I started coaching, it was like it was so surprised for me because I really liked it, and I've kind of like found myself. I was really enjoying it, what I was doing.
Yeah. Did you feel like you found your purpose and your why in life, or like this is what I can do for quite a long time now?
Yes, it was like that.
I kind of think as well, even though you got coached in a way that obviously looking back wasn't the best way of coaching, which is what you think now, because obviously we coach in a different way.
It wasn't.
I'm guessing that experience has helped you coach a different way, because it's kind of one of these things, if you go through an experience that isn't great and you're going to do it yourself, then you can learn from what you've experienced, so you can become a better coach by not doing the things that was done to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I was like, always when I was coaching, especially, with kids, you really need to know what are you doing over there, because they are so sensitive. And me having that experience and knowing how they kind of like break me, like mentally, I was like, I cannot do that to anyone. Like, I really didn't want. So my approach was always like getting close to them and make them to trust me, because I knew that that's a really good way of making them do stuff.
Yeah.
Because they could see that I'm there for for them. And it was, I would say, a successful approach of coaching.
Yeah, I think you've got to have like a softer approach to coaching kids, right? You have to try and relate to them best as you can. I mean, you're already halfway there because you're probably the same height as most kids, but you do have to sort of
them are taller than me, so.
Try and relate to them and just, show you a different side to, like a softer side, which I think is very important, teaching kids. So you had a year in Abu Dhabi teaching all these different sort of kids at different skills, many gymnastic skills, and then you finally got yourself to the biggest city of Dubai.
Yes.
Again, what happened there? How was your move to Dubai from Abu Dhabi?
So it was the same thing. Like, most of gymnastic coaches over here are Romanians. So we knew each other's, and I was the same. Someone told me that, look, they need a coach at this club. Would you like to come? And I've said yes, because in Abu Dhabi I didn't know many like gymnastic coaches, but over here it was like we are already 18, 19, something like that. So it said like, I would like to come there and be more closer to you guys.
I didn't know that, because obviously when you're in Dubai, it's kind of like the jiu-jitsu community. Like, a lot of Brazilians would come over to teach jiu-jitsu, and it's a really good thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of guessing the same is for you Romanians, which I didn't know. It's kind of like all Romanians are over here teaching gymnastics because that's sort of your national sport, right? Same with jiu-jitsu in Brazil. So that's pretty cool to know that, we have sort of a Dubai has some sort of relationship with Romania,
Yes.
Giving them better opportunities to come and coach over in this city of opportunity, which Dubai is. So you was there for a year, again, just teaching kids?
Yes.
Yeah, for a year. And then you finally got to the places that you're at now, which is
Fly High.
Fly High Fitness.
Yeah.
So you're currently at Fly High Fitness. You've been there for 5 long years now.
Yes.
Just tell people what you do at Fly High.
So at the beginning I was coaching kids only. So I was like for 4 years doing that. And
Coaching kids, what,
coaching
just gymnastics?
Yes, just gymnastics. And the past year I moved to the CrossFit.
The darker side.
Yeah. The good side for me. It was something that I was looking to do. I really wanted to do that, and it's my happy place.
Yeah.
I really love what I'm doing now.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Fly High Fitness is it's a big gym, and it does sort of have 2 sides of it. You've got a big CrossFit side, and you also have a bigger side, which is a massive gymnastics area.
It's the biggest one in UAE.
The biggest one in UAE. So all the gymnastic teams would come there to train if they was here doing a competition, and literally they just clean up on all the gymnastic side of things. I think, especially kids. Like, a lot of kids go there. They've got all the back side of the gym is just fully equipped with all the gymnastic stuff you need, whether it's the foam pits, whether it's the beams, whether it's the rings, and it's just a really good facility. If you're interested in some sort of gymnastics or getting your kids down to gymnastics, then you can DM Laurie here and she'll give you some advice on where to go in Fly High about doing gymnastics. So you personally as well, you've sort of gone from that shift as well as your coaching role. So you spent a lot of time coaching kids gymnastics, and you spent a lot of time in keeping on top of your gymnastic skills, having fun on the rings. I see all your videos, you've done all your crazy stuff gymnastic wise, but it's kind of happened with you personally shifting over to the CrossFit side as well. So I know that you're training for more CrossFit specific stuff now, and so is your sort of job role. Your job role's sort of shifted from teaching kids gymnastics to now not coaching any kids. You're coaching the adults CrossFit, because you've got your CrossFit level 1 and level 2, and you're obviously teaching them the adults gymnastics as well, which I'm kind of guessing is a little bit harder than coaching kids, because adults are just so immobile and
not all of them.
Not all of them, but most are. I'm guessing adults pick up bad habits, and it is harder to sort of change those bad habits, whereas kids, it's sort of easy to tell them what to do and they can sort of just flip a switch and do it. So what's it like for you now coaching at Fly High? What's your sort of schedule looking like? Tell people what you do at Fly High specifically.
So at the beginning, I was just doing the gymnastic classes because we have Monday and Wednesday. We do like gymnastic skill. We try to teach members how to do everything. Okay,
so you're coaching the CrossFit side, adults, just the gymnastics.
I was doing that at the beginning.
Okay.
And then slowly, I start like working as a full timer, like as a CrossFit coach. And now I'm doing like all classes, mostly like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, like the regular trainer schedule.
Yeah. Let's focus more on the gymnastics side of things. What do you do specifically for gymnastics at Fly High?
So we have a class called Gymnastic Strength and Skill, GSS, and every week we are coaching because I have my colleagues, which helps me. We do different skills, so handstand walk, bar muscle up, and ring muscle up. Because on the other days, when we have Monday and Wednesday, then we do like pull strength, and then we do push strength, which is like, pull-ups, different variations of it, and then we do like handstand push-ups and stuff like that.
So you got 2 sessions a week, basically based around gymnastics. One of the classes is based on strength for gymnastics, and one of it's based on practicing the skill.
Yes.
Which is obviously very good, because you need to have a lot of strength to be able to do the high-skilled skills.
That's the first thing that everyone should do, like strength and a lot of foundation work, because after that everything will come with so much ease. If you are trying just to do skills without knowing what exactly you should feel, it's going to be pretty much difficult.
Just a quick question, do you prefer coaching kids or adults?
I've been asked this before. It's different. I cannot choose because when I was coaching kids, I had like really good kids. It was just like kind of by invitational, so we were selecting the best kids. So my group was like just amazing. So that's what it's in my mind now. When you ask me, like I'm thinking just about the group that I've had, the little ones. But obviously I also enjoy with the adults. It's like it's different, because with the kids you cannot talk the way you talk with the adults, and then you create some like friendships, and it's different.
And you have to be careful, because some adults that you coach are going to be listening to this podcast. So tell us more about the gymnastic seminars that you run out of Fly High, because I've seen these on your Instagram before, and some of the members from Alioth have been to your seminars. So just tell us a bit about that, how it come about, and what happens in a gymnastic seminar with you.
So I've done handstand walk seminar, and I've done a bar muscle up as well. I really love the handstand one. So it was also my first one, and I've learned so many things. I obviously like knew exactly what I want to do, but during like those 4 hours, lots of stuff can change. So based on what I've seen over there, I had to adapt, because I was expecting them to pick up quicker than that, and it wasn't the case. So I had to change pretty quick, and it was the time that I realized that, okay, like no matter what situations I have to face, I know exactly how can I change everything pretty quick, because I have all those drills in my mind, and I know exactly maybe what's good for you, maybe what's good for another person. So I've done that, and then with the bar muscle up, I thought that can be like a successful one. It wasn't bad. Maybe members from Alioth, they've told you about it, but it's pretty difficult to teach such a skill in 4 hours, because it's so much information and so much to be done. And if I would have to do a bar muscle up again, I wouldn't do that. I would prefer to do like a block training, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, stuff like that, because it really takes a lot. Instead, with the handstand walk, it's pretty easy. I can make people like handstand walk in 4 hours.
Anyone? Monem, do you want to do a handstand walk in 4 hours? We'll get Monem doing it. But I know where you're coming from, and it's good because...
It's not like walking 10 meters, but like I can make you feel comfortable going upside down. Good. Sorry that I interrupted you.
I think it's okay. I think these seminars are great because, like you said, even with the bar muscle up, even not everybody comes to the seminar expecting to do a bar muscle up at the end. Like, it's great if you can get one, but if you can't quite get one, you're going to learn something beforehand that's going to transfer over to you getting a bar muscle up. And from the back of your seminar, you can dish out your 6 to 8 week blocks of getting stronger to be able to do a bar muscle up. Then come back to us in another seminar, and voila, you have a bar muscle up after your 6 week block.
You can't believe like how many messages I've got, like, if I come and if I pay this money, can you make me do one? It's like, I'm really giving my best, but it's not only about me, it's about yourself as well.
We're not magicians, are we?
Yeah.
So they're the gymnastic seminars that you run out of Fly High, which have been a success. I know a lot of people would turn up and enjoy them. I've heard good things about them, which is great. What have you got going on at the minute with regards to work? Like, what's going on?
So I'm really trying to develop like my GSS. I really want to do...
What's your GSS for people that don't have a clue?
Gymnastics, strength and skill.
Okay, so what's this? Is it an online platform for you, or...?
So this is what I'm trying to do now. Like, I'm trying to build something. It's not easy, but I really have to think like, like big picture, because, I have to think about what a beginner can do and how can I coach a beginner, how an intermediate person can do stuff, and then obviously the advanced one, which is pretty difficult, because in my mind was an advanced you can pretty easy do stuff, but it's not that simple, especially if you want to teach like a higher like skill, like, I don't know, pirouettes or free handstand push-ups, and so it takes a bit of like knowledge, and I have to know exactly how I want to do it, so to be successful with it. I just don't want to do things and not be sure about it. Yeah.
So it's basically, is it an online program, or is it just you like dishing out free advice, or are you charging people for this?
Yeah, obviously I'm charging people because this is how
we make money.
Exactly, like we need money, unfortunately. This is how we live. So I have like some online clients that I'm coaching, and I'm sending them videos and what they have to do. My plan is I really would love to create like an app, so everything to be like, together, and to look much better than it is now.
And it's your aim just to basically help anyone, whether they're beginner, intermediate or advanced, to help anyone with gymnastics regarding strength or skill. Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're right.
And so that's basically what you do now, work at Fly High, do your gymnastics seminars, do your online programming, helping people with the gymnastics as well as the CrossFit. What does the future look like for you? Like, what are your future plans? Let us know more about that, if you've got any.
So, yeah, like I said before, I'm really working on doing something with my GSS, because I really think that I can do great stuff. I know so many things, and I can make people feel comfortable doing gymnastics, because I know that in CrossFit this is like a big thing. I cannot do that. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
But it's difficult just because you don't break the movement. You just want to do the movement. So, yeah, this is my future plan mostly.
Yeah. I think that's the way people are going now as well, is you know, everything's more online now since COVID. Like, everything can be done online, and I think that's the way, just the way the industry's going. Online programming, apps. I think if we're doing that right now, then I think there is some sort of scope for it, and you can become pretty successful in what you do, especially with your skills that you have, you know, maybe different to most gymnasts over here. You know, you might know a lot more than other people, so I'm guessing it's your sort of niche, and just roll with it. Have you got any sort of personal training specific goals in mind for the future?
At the moment, I'm doing like a strength cycle. I obviously like started training for CrossFit a year and a half ago. So the main reason I've started, it was because I really wanted to coach, and I've seen this niche like a really good one for me. But I knew that if I'm not doing what the other ones are doing, I cannot be trusted as a coach. And it's totally right, because it's one thing when you do handstand work like fresh, and it's one thing when you come, I don't know, after a thruster or whatever, another skill, another movement. I'm just trying to get stronger. I'm trying to gain some weight, which is the hardest part for me. I'm only like 48, 49 kilograms, so if I want to lift heavy, which is very important nowadays in CrossFit, I have to
eat.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's important with regards to you coaching CrossFit. Like, you have to practice what you preach, right?
Yeah, of course,
like,
definitely.
if you want to be able to coach CrossFit, then you got to be pretty decent at it. You got to be able to do at least, you know, snatch,
it's
clean,
very important
gymnastics side.
to be able to do all the movements.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to like coach the others how to do it, you must feel it yourself.
Yeah. I remember once when I spoke to you in the past that you mentioned the Grid League. Is that still on your
yes.
Is that still on your list of goals?
It's my dream. Last year I've got the opportunity to go. Two of the teams offered me a place over there, but you know, it's like starting again from zero, which I'm not ready yet. I'm just building myself over here and slowly like getting to be known for, you know, at least for the gymnastic stuff. And then money-wise, it wasn't something that, you know, I was looking for. And at that time when I've got the offers, I was like training for the Gov Games. So I didn't want to give up also on that side. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think that's a good place to end. Thank you so much for going on my podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Any advice that you'd like to give to my listeners or people that are watching?
I would say find your magic and just follow that.
Follow the magic.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks for listening, guys. A big thank you to our main podcast sponsor, Practical, for supplying guests with some tasty snacks, and you guys for watching on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and let us know what you think by dropping a message in the comment section below.